Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. I am Paul Pugmire, your host and president of First Tee Utah. And we are here with our co-host, Jan Brownstein. Jan, the new year has begun, and we are back.
Happy New Year, Paul.
Happy New Year to you. So glad to be back doing the show again and talking us some golf.
You know, it's weird because I woke up last Saturday going.
It's weird that I woke up last Saturday.
I know. I woke up and I thought, I don't have to do the show today. So we kind of both. I don't know. Do you go through that like the first? Because we're so used to doing it every Saturday that it feels odd when we don't.
It feels very odd. There's a lot of reasons why it's good to take a break, and the reality is that it's hard to get. People have schedules in December. It's hard to put a show together. The 2 weeks of the holidays, and so there's a lot of reasons to.
I thought you
take
just
a break.
did it for me.
Nope.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's a loss.
But I am so glad to be back.
Me too.
And this is a fun one too. We are so glad to welcome to the show a dear friend, one of the really good guys of Utah golf, and I'm talking the head golf professional at Willow Creek. This is Carl Sayers. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Jan. It's a pleasure to be here.
So glad to have you here with us today. It's been a minute since we've sat down and talked some golf. In the meantime, you have I think since we've had you on the show, you have gone from Oak Ridge to Willow Creek. Now you're at Willow Creek. Bring us up to date on Carl. Tell us about your last couple of years, man.
Yeah, my post-COVID experience has been kind of fun.
Is that how you measure it post-COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I left Willow Creek, spent a fantastic year with Salt Lake City Golf at Bonneville.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time there, and after that, the retirement of Rick Mears led to an opportunity at Oak Ridge Country Club, and wow, what a fantastic 2 years it was there. And then I got to return back home, Willow Creek Country Club. Now the director of golf for the last 2 years, and it's been an absolute privilege. So
when you were at Willow Creek is when we first got to know one another, and perhaps because of that and the calcified characteristics of my brain, I just kind of associate you with Willow Creek. So when you went back, I thought, well, yeah, of course. But still, it's a fairly unusual career path to go back to a club you've been at, is it not?
Very much so, yeah. It's, I mean, a lot of people kind of thought it was weird for me to move from the private side where I'd been my entire career to go to Bonneville, and I thought it was the best decision I made. Gave me so many opportunities there, and
I'm elaborate on that. I'm interested in that because you're right. There is not a wall, but a little bit of a hill between public side and private side in a lot of careers.
I think sometimes, yeah. I mean, the private side is extremely relationship based. You're building a relationship with the membership and trying to provide them something special, and you get that every day. In the public side, it's more of a flash opportunity. It's a one-off, a weekly. It's somebody flying in from the airport, and you're just trying to make a little bit of wow in their life and an impact, and that's the public side. You get that relationship with the men's league, and I mean the men's league there at Bonneville was amazing.
The Bonneville men's league is something.
I mean, it was just fun, and so I mean, you in the golf experience, you're trying to create an experience, and if that's one-off, seasonal or for a lifetime, that's kind of what it is. And the private side is that, right? You've got families that are members of these clubs for generations.
Yes, absolutely.
And you remember teaching them, their kids and their grandkids junior golf, and then they show up, years later and they're members. And, it's just a lot of fun. So, yeah.
It's interesting as you say that, my mind goes back to when I was in college playing at Boise State University. I worked on the pro shop staff at Hillcrest Country Club, which is the old line, old school, old money country club in Boise. It's where the Corn Ferry event is hosted at the Hillcrest Country Club. And back then, on the pro shop door, the door was spring loaded. So people would walk in, and the door would automatically close itself behind them. And this wonderful man who was the head pro there is such an influence in my life. His name was Arnold Henneke. And Mr. Henneke's standard, his rule was, before that door closes, you are to call them by name and welcome them to the shop, welcome them to the golf course that day, which was a darn good thing that the club produced a picture book, a membership book that had people's pictures in it, because we would sometimes have it down below the desk, thumbing through it real quick. What's her name? What's her name? What's her name? But it really emphasized that it was personal. And I hear you talk about the experience being relational, being based on relationships. Boy, it brings to mind Mr. Henneke saying, call our members by name.
I mean, that was my toughest challenge when I went to Oak Ridge Country Club. Is I had 12 years of knowing the members' names, showing up at Oak Ridge, and I knew some of the members, but not many. And wow, yeah, that was a steep learning curve. But that's if you have that skill and you can, identify, people by some unique characteristic, it's huge. Just being to know who they are, remember their name, know their preferences.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's unique.
Okay, so what is your system? Because everybody has a system in remembering somebody, whether it's a name association or whether it's or it's a visual. So, what is your system for seeing somebody, remembering their name, so that you remember them again?
I mean, it's usually a word association. I mean, I used to sit in the car when I was a kid and try and remember license plates, and you try and connect them.
Oh, my.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I try to rhyme their name, so it has, if it's Janie, I'll remember Paney or something. Just and then remember, but it starts with a J, so I'll always remember that person's name. And then even when I put it in my address, but you meet somebody, I will met them at McRiley.
Yeah, okay.
I can't tell you how many people
I
in my
do things
phone I
like
have
that.
met at blank golf course.
Yeah.
one of the best things when I take my kids to an event or whatever, and I'll, you usually run into people that you've associated with at previous clubs, and they go, "You always know somebody," and I'm like, "Yeah, I mean these are people that you remember. Again, you've taught their kids. You've introduced them to the game. You've sold them a set of clubs. You've checked them out on the tee. You've all the tournament experiences. It's just that's what it is. It's just and you create memories in your own mind."
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we're here to create memories for them. So that's what it's all about.
Interesting. I do need to note that we are powered, as always, by T-Box. T-Box, of course, is the place where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, coaching, and community. We're going to talk a little bit later about some things I've been doing at T-Box and will continue to be doing at T-Box. But check them out, tbx.golf. And this first hour of the show, Carl, in honor of your time at Bonneville, this first hour of the show is presented by Salt Lake City Golf at slcgolf.com. And we're talking with Kelsey Chugg here recently. Very soon, we don't have a firm date right yet, but the season passes for Salt Lake City Golf will be available on the website here coming up soon. So you keep your eyes peeled at slcgolf.com for that. Tell us what's been happening at Willow Creek. Give us up to date at Willow Creek. First thing that comes to mind, Carl, to tee up the conversation a little bit, I'm going to refer to the new clubhouse, and it's probably not new anymore because the years go by so fast, but it still strikes me as a new clubhouse, and I think architecturally it is stunning. I think it is a triumph. It is really a great building. But tell us what's going on at Willow Creek. Give us an update there.
Yeah, so that clubhouse was built in 2016. So we're
okay. I'm
so
fine.
we're 10 years. So
All right.
it's funny how we start talking about aging buildings and what you need to do there. But
Yeah.
our board of directors decided to build a new maintenance facility for Alan Davis, who's our superb superintendent.
Yeah,
there.
does a great
Yeah,
job.
so they've just moved in last week. Which
So is it in the same place as where the old one was?
Yes.
Where? Okay,
so it's
just
in basically a parcel of land of 3 acres, and they've been able to concise that down to an acre and a half. So,
oh, okay.
yeah, the membership has got a little bit younger, as most private club memberships have over
true.
the last 5 years, and it was exciting. We coming back, we tried to refresh our tournament schedule over the last couple of years, and with my experience at Bonneville and at Oak Ridge, they had a season-long event, season-long kind of FedEx-style points race. We created our own one at Willow Creek. It was called the Granite Goblet. That's
Okay.
our sister city right there on the east side of Sandy there.
Yeah.
And so we had a season-long points race. A lot of the demand for our member guests has been amazing. So we added a second member guest this year called the Sago Lily Showcase. So we just fun in events. Members want to enjoy the tournament experience. Our membership is big. Have 430 members, which is just amazing.
Okay, so you're right. That's a fairly big number, and my sense of it is, tell me if I'm right or wrong here, but my sense of it is the Willow Creek membership is heavy on the golf side. There are clubs with memberships where there are social or business reasons for people to be in the club, and they don't golf a lot. Maybe it's just because my friends who are Willow Creek members are also incorrigible golf geeks. You know, I mean, I told you about playing with my friend Brad Stevens last week at Glenmore because Willow Creek was doing temporary greens, and so he was looking for golf somewhere. But tell us about your membership in that regard. Heavy golfers.
They do like to play golf. I mean, why would you?
Why do you join? Yeah, it's always been my
in
view.
my
Why do you
opinion,
join?
The golf course is the best in the valley. It has the most beautiful layout. I mean, the panorama we have of the canyons there behind us is unparalleled in the state, in my opinion.
Incredible. And I personally think holes 8 through 12 are so interesting. Oh my gosh.
I think there's some people that like to take a bulldozer to the creek on 8.
No.
But definitely, yeah. It's a beautiful layout. The course is unique because it starts 5-3-5 on both sides, which is really cool. Yeah, and we're excited. Kind of surprised to me when I came back. We're actually going to be hosting the State Am next year in 2027.
Yes.
And that's and we're actually going to host a U.S. Open qualifier in May.
Oh,
this year.
nice.
In
Okay.
preparation for that. It was kind of fun. Colin and the team said we haven't been out to Willow Creek.
It's been a minute.
And that's kind of what I hear a lot. There's a lot of people that haven't played or even been on the property, and I'm kind of excited for people to see that. We used to host the back in the day the nationwide.
Yeah.
Utah
I was going to say I
Championship.
used to walk that course a lot
Yes.
because when the Nationwide and the Web.com, when it was at Willow Creek, and I was volunteering there with the tournament, walk it every day of the tournament, but no more.
So it's going to be exciting to again. It was so cool to see Mr. Bailey and the membership at Salt Lake Country Club embrace the hosting the amateur.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to welcome Utah Golf to Willow Creek and to them, for everybody to see what we see every day. It's just a special place. So
Yeah, State Am at Soldier Hollow this year, and then Willow Creek next year. Is pretty good chain of events there. I'm looking forward to the State Am at Willow Creek. Let me change the subject slightly here. Jan, you've got an anniversary of sorts here this week.
I do.
What's up?
You make me feel weird, Paul. That's weird. No, this is my 7th year. Today is my 7th year on the show.
7 years.
7 years.
Fantastic.
It's funny. It went by so fast. It feels, but I got to tell you, I've learned so much, and I've been so grateful, and I've been so welcomed into this golf community that I never want to leave. Please don't kick me out. Please let me stay. And it's just been such a wonderful, wonderful experience to meet everybody and get to know all of the wonderful players and pros and teachers and all the people that are involved in the golf community here in Utah.
Well, we appreciate all you do. I appreciate all you do for the show. I know that everybody in the Utah golf community, appreciates your involvement, what you do at the show, what you do with Girls Go Golfing. And, of course, you still have the day job here at ESPN
I do have a day
700.
job.
That matters.
It does. It's tough out there.
Yeah. But it matters to the golf world. I mean that you're a part of this.
But just like
this
golf,
important radio
the most
station.
important thing is I've had fun.
Well, good. I'm so glad. So
Right?
You know,
Right,
it's been
Sarah?
really cool from my perspective.
Please.
Jen and I met
Yeah.
you know, that year that I was at Bonneville, but to see your knowledge and it just expound and just how you talk about golf differently through your experiences has just been amazing. So
Thank
that's
you, Carl.
you've gone from 6 years to 7, so that's a 6-7 drop.
Oh
for the
no!
kids
I
out
didn't
there,
even realize I was 6'7". I didn't even get my own offer. Carl, you killed that.
But yeah, it's we just have watched you, and I remember back in the day, you know, Haley was such a huge mentor for you, and still is, and
Yes.
hopefully you're out driving her now. So
Oh heck
yeah,
no!
right. So,
Heck no!
who's out driving?
Yeah,
We're talking
yeah,
Haley Sturgeon, of course,
Paul
the
can't outdrive
the
Haley.
6-time repeat Utah Section Women's Player of the Year, and it is really she's a friend of the show. We love having her on.
Yes,
But
we do. She's become a very good friend, and I love her very much. So I've just made so many wonderful friends. I love it, and I got to meet you, Carl. So it's but so thank you very much. It really that means a lot to me.
And Jan, another
Yeah, you
thing
love
is we being I wanted a woman's perspective and voice on this show, and
Thank you for
you've
forward
been
thinking.
you've been able to provide that, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, thank you very much, and I think a lot of people will either hate you or thank you in the same breath.
Yeah.
But it is
Whatever.
true. I mean, you gave me a chance, and you took a chance, and I think it's so far. Like I said, I'm having the most fun.
Well, I'm planning on 7 more.
Okay, let's do it.
All right. We need to talk about something significant that happened this last week. The PGA Tour announced its schedule for the fall series in the 2026 PGA Tour calendar. They had previously announced the FedEx series, the FedEx, meaning the core regular season tournaments leading up to the Tour Championship at East Lake. But they had not announced hard dates for the fall series, which includes the Bank of Utah Championship. Bank of Utah Championship dates then announced yesterday. Get out a pencil, write down these numbers, put them on your calendar, tap them into your Google Calendar.
And then do a reminder 1 week prior to your reminder.
October 1 through 4, 2026. The first weekend of October. It is the weekend following the President's Cup, which is really interesting. October 1 through 4, October 1st through 4th. The Bank of Utah Championship at Black Desert will be contested. So the first week of October, October 1st through 4th, 2026, we now have a date for the Bank of Utah Championship, the Bank of Utah Championship at Black Desert. Holy cow, this tournament is significant in the game generally and to us in Utah. And Carl, to have firm dates on it, it's not that it wasn't real before. It absolutely was. There's absolute commitment, contracts in place. But seeing a date, putting it on the calendar, makes it a little more real and matters.
yeah, I mean, I remember when we hosted the nationwide tour back in the day. That Labor Day weekend was just prime for hosting a golf tournament in the northern Utah, and usually that conference weekend, that first weekend in October, is when everybody starts thinking and heading to St. George, and that's a perfect date for it being down there, and it'll be nice and perfect temperatures. Would be my guess, 80s and 90s.
It was perfect.
I was going to say, have
It
any of us
couldn't have
seen
been
pretty
more-
days in St. George in October?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the tournament couldn't have picked a better time. 'cause
Well,
it
the
is
tournament
right
doesn't get to pick
well,
it. That's the point.
okay.
The tour makes the
tour.
schedule.
This-
Yeah.
So it's
And so-
they just. I mean, whoever did the recon on that,
Yeah.
they knew what they were doing.
So it is interesting what is bookending the Bank of Utah Championship. The week before is the President's Cup,
Yep.
so the entire golf world will be focused on Medina Country Club in Chicago for the President's Cup. The weekend following, they're going to be in Yokohama, Japan for the Bay Current. So going from a big international event to St. George, Ivans more accurately, but to St. George area, to a big international event. Pretty interesting, Carl, how that all bookends together.
If you kind of look at that, it's great actually, because what will happen is that with the week before being a President's Cup week, that'll give the entire eligible field the opportunity to travel to Utah, because they're not moving from East Coast to West Coast. That'll be huge for the field in terms of, and then the trip to Japan is a select field anyway.
It is that.
And so I know that we've had locals that have missed out on that trip just because of the amount of players that are eligible to play. So, that'll be a premier field for that.
Looking forward to it. Yep, write it down, folks. October 1st through October 4th, Bank of Utah Championship at Black Desert. And, of course, we will be there. All right, Jan, we need to do ourselves a little UPod update. The UPod update brought to us by our good friends at Scott Golf. Check them out at scottgolf.com. This Utah product, these clubs are so sweet. Got them in my bag. I love them. Scott Golf. Check them out. Jan, we're not playing this week, but we do have field set. What up?
We do. So next week, Zach and Tony will be at the Sony Open. Fish will also be there I don't know if he'll be there, but he is an alternate there for that tournament. And then Tony will join the field at the American Express at the end of January at La Quinta.
La Quinta.
La Quinta. I like
Okay.
saying it.
Yeah, I want to pause on this for a quick minute. And why Ray address the question? Why is it that Zach Blair is already in the field with lower status than Patrick Fishburne, who is an alternate? And the reason is, and I just learned this week, Carl, we've known for years, for decades, that a top 10 finish gets you in the next week on the PGA Tour. They have done that since I was a little kid. Long time. You top 10, you play the next week. What I didn't figure out until this week, Zach's top 10 at the RSM at Sea Island was the last tournament of last year.
Yeah.
This is the first tournament of this year. That rolled over.
Oh,
It is. It eclipses the calendar year. I never had even thought about it before, but Zach gets preeminent status, gets automatic qualification for this week because of the top 10 at Sea Island.
That's awesome.
So that answers that question. But it's also significant because this is the tournament, this is the course, the Waialae Country Club, where Zach has had one of his highest finishes on the PGA Tour. It was a T3. It's been 5-6 years ago now in the Sony, but he was one shot out of a two-man playoff in that tournament. And so we know Zach can play the Waialae Country Club. We know he can play in this tournament. It's really good and significant that his top 10 got him into this week. Good stuff. All right.
Well, we spent most of last year without Tony playing, so it is really nice to see him grinding and playing. And hopefully
and it means he's healthy, too.
Hopefully it means he's healed and he's ready to get back to work. So
Right.
we're really excited to see Tony. We'll see him in several fields in this early part of the season. So Corn Ferry, our guys, they are going to be at the Bahama Classic. It starts on Monday. We have 5 U-Pots in the field. Peter Quest, Jimmy Stanger, Daniel Summerhays, Preston Summerhays, and then our honorary Taylor Montgomery. So I like that. This is going to be a lot of fun. This is their first a tournament of the season, and it's going to be interesting because Peter Quest had such an amazing end of his season last year.
Sure
He
did.
finished so strong. That's really helped him a lot, and I think that probably helped his confidence going into 2026, I hope.
Yep.
So, and then Jimmy, we haven't seen or talked about Jimmy for a while.
Well,
so
Jimmy, an honorary U-Pot,
Yep.
and as such, we normally only talk about the honoraries when they do something special.
Yeah.
And Jimmy he's maintained his Corn Ferry status, but he hasn't made a lot of noise doing so.
Right. Then Daniel Summerhays and Preston Summerhays. So it's nice to see It's. I wonder if at a tournament when they see one summer haze, it's one thing, but when they start seeing two summer hazes and maybe three summer hazes, they start to get nervous.
Oh, it's been done before.
I know it's great. And then Taylor Montgomery rounds out the rest for the kickoff to the 2026 Corn Ferry.
And this is one of the tournaments where the Corn Ferry plays on a different schedule. I wish they would do more of it. They're going Sunday to Wednesday, and I think it's great as a consumer of the game.
Of course
see
you
it
do,
in
because
that
now
way.
you have golf on
Got golf
Sunday,
on
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Your week is complete.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes. All right. We need to send some love to Zach Feltz. Zach, of course, is former UGA Player of the Year. And a former Utah Tech player, has transferred to Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia for his senior year. So the VCU senior Zach Feltz came home for the holidays to his home and family in St. George, went out and won the Coral Canyon Am, shot -6, 138 to win by 2 over a bunch of players tied at second place for this win. Zach Feltz is being honored as the Zions Bank Player of the Week presented by Fairways Magazine. You can get a full report on this on our podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, the Utah Golf Radio podcast, and there's a really good photojournal report on it on Fairways Magazine. Zach Feltz, Zions Bank Player of the Week presented by Fairways Magazine. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk with the Utah Section PGA Player of the Year, Zach Johnson. I'm looking forward to this conversation. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Utah Golf Radio, getting you inside the ropes on all things golf in Utah in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section, PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. We are powered, as always, by T-Box at tbx.golf. Check them out. They have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, coaching, and community. T-Box is the place you want to hang, especially when it's cold like this outside.
I can't handle it. I just, it's almost like we didn't get they have warned us, but it's like I didn't get a warning. It just went from warm and bearable to nope.
This is a place that hosts Winter Olympics.
I know.
Okay.
I've lived here most of my life.
I know.
I grasp
it.
It's hard when you have to realize it.
Yeah.
Yesterday was the day of realization.
Brooke calls this my grumpy season. She's not wrong.
I second that, Brooke.
And this first hour of the show is presented by Salt Lake City Golf at slcgolf.com. Season pass is available on the website soon. Check them out, slcgolf.com. We are joined now by a dear friend, a great man, and a great player. The PGA Section Player of the Year, Zach Johnson. Zach, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Oh, good morning. Happy New Year, Paul and Jen. How are you guys?
We're great. Happy New Year to you. There is one thing consistent year to year here, Zach, and that's you being Player of the Year. It's happened before. It's happened again. How you feeling, buddy?
Oh, it feels great, and I wish it happened more often. But even Jan brought it to light last time I was on the show. I'm the bridesmaid more often than the bride, so it's nice to. I had to put that one back on Jan, but no, it's nice to finish on top again. So it's always fun.
Walk us through your year a little bit. You had some pretty significant wins along the way. You had a lot of high finishes, and I'm working my way up to what you did at the section championship, which I thought was remarkable on its own, although not terribly surprising because you're Zach Johnson. but walk us through your season a little bit.
Looking back the whole year, I usually start the season pretty slow, which Winter Classic wasn't a great event for me, but I'm with Jan. The older I get, the less I like the cold. So winter golf, I'm not touching my clubs right now, so it's nice to go down and knock some rust off in February, but usually don't play great. So, but as the season progressed, like you mentioned, it just a lot of solid finishes and had a good stretch there from Gladstone, Palisades, Delta, where I was able to win a couple tournaments. And then, come August when our bigger tournaments start, the City Open, the Valley View Open, the Utah Open, was still playing well. And although didn't win any of those, had some nice finishes, which helped score some points and keep the year going.
Before we go to the points list and again the section championship, talk to us about along the way the trophies you picked up, the wins. What of those mattered most to you this year? You've won these tournaments before, but there's always something along the way that means more for some reason. Which one meant more to you this year?
I don't know that one in particular means more. It's always fun bringing trophies home. That's the stage of life I'm in with 3 little kids. My youngest, it's all perspective, and they're all fun. But my youngest, every time I go play, he asks, "Did you win a trophy?" And so, the ones that provide trophies, like Gladstone had a cool belt buckle. My son, he loved that one, and it's just fun to bring some trophies home for my youngest. That's what he looks forward to.
That is pretty cool. You ended up with a 1,000-point margin over runner-up Matt Baird, and then your colleague Dustin Volk was in third place. Interesting sidelight here. Matt and Dustin, of course, both senior players, and yet they had great seasons just generally. But my point is, the points list wasn't very tight. You had a lead. Let me put it that way. But now let's talk about the section championship at Tonah Vista. because I was so impressed with what you did there. Of course, you needed to just not lapse into a coma, to finish the tournament. To
You just had to
get,
finish.
to
Good.
get Player of the Year. Basically, you had to putt out on the final hole to get Player of the Year because of the points that you already had. But you're playing also for a trip to the PPC, and the first round was not very Zach Johnson like.
Hey, even par is not bad. Come on, cut me some slack, Paul.
No, it is not that bad. It is not. And
I'm kidding.
No. I always respect even par, but you were not at the top of the leaderboard, and you had work to do. And what so impressed me was that you went out the next day and delivered. Talk to us about that second final round at the Tour Championship at Tona Vista. If memory serves, it was a 5 under par 67, but it was absolutely enough to get the job done and to give yourself a ticket to the PPC to close out Player of the Year. Mission accomplished. It was so impressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit it right on the head. If I kind of put myself behind the 8 ball the first round, and it's funny you mentioned that. It's just like Jan joked of me being the bridesmaid. I had another buddy send me a screenshot of the scoreboard, and I don't know if you're familiar with the scoreboard. It says not in contention once you're outside those qualifying spots.
That's cold, but I'm glad to hear it.
It was luckily, to be honest, had it been cold and ill-intended, I would have never responded to it. But, he sent a nice message that said, I beg to differ, and, pointed out not in contention. I just said, it's 36 holes. I've got another round, so kind of know the drill. And if you can get to a certain number or score, you usually have a good chance of qualifying for the Club Pro. And the Club Pro, for all of us, that's the highlight of the year. And as a PGA member, that's what we all mark our calendar for. And that tournament's always in Wendover, and we know what to expect. The weather can be iffy in September. It can be hot. It can be cold. But, generally the scores are in that range that you kind of know if you get to this, you'll qualify. And I just had to remind myself to stay patient and know that I was due for a good round. And, you never know what's going to happen with the guys in contention. And the bad thing is the only thing I remember is missing about a 6-footer on the last hole to get into the playoffs. So, I left there feeling very, very lucky, but also a little disappointed to not get in the playoffs and have a chance of winning the tournament.
You hit on so many important points there. First off, we've got a lot of experience with this event at this golf course, with generally this field. We knew going into that second day, you pretty much needed certainly -4, and -5 would get the job done. That's exactly what you did. Sometimes
it works out. A lot of times it doesn't.
So Zach, you played an awful lot last year, and you brought home some of those trophies and whatnot. What are you looking forward to this year? Is there anything specific other than the end of the year?
Have some fun events coming up early this spring. A couple weeks, head out to Florida to partner up with my good buddy Steve Schneider. We play in the PGA National Senior Junior event, which is always fun. Have a tournament out in Pebble in March, and then come end of April, we'll be in Bandon Dunes for the Club Pro. So a lot of fun golf to look forward to this spring, and then we roll into our local section season and do the same thing over.
Do you plan on playing as much this year? Do you think? Or will you increase that? Or
no, I don't know that increase is possible. And that's the other thing too. I'm lucky to be able to play.
I was just going to say,
all the tournaments and do what we do, and that comes from the support of my boss and our director Dustin Bulk
and your wife,
my team at Davis. Of holding down the fort while I'm out playing, and then my family. Like I said, my kids. It's funny, their perspective, and my wife understands that. Although golf is fun and she knows I love it, it's work, and it helps supplement the income, and it's something I enjoy to do. So she's my biggest fan and biggest supporter, which that it makes it nice.
That's awesome.
That is really cool. And you're correct to point to your staff. You've got a terrific staff at Davis. We're sitting here with Carl Serres. He's got a great staff at Willow. Willow Creek made a donation to First Tee the other day. We're so grateful for that. Carl, you brought some things down from your pro shop. Zach Bocut from your staff came down. It's been a while since I've seen Zach, been able to talk to him. We just stood there for a half an hour and just talked. So you've got a great staff there.
I love Zach.
Yeah, Zach's
I know
a great,
Zach as
great
well.
guy.
He's a wonderful
great guy. And Zach up at Davis, I think you made a great catch getting Bridget Volk onto your staff. I think she's going to be something impressive and important in the Utah game.
Definitely, Bridget's great and comes from a rich PJ family with Dustin and her grandpa Wayne. So she's had some great mentors along the way, and it's been a great part at Davis. And we're excited to see where she takes her career and what she does with golf, because she's committed and wants to be in golf, and she's very needed in golf. So she's knocking out her PGA work. And aside from Bridget, Caden Jones, our assistant professional, and Parker Thompson, our teaching pro, we have some great associates, and trying to grow the game and grow the PGA and provide an environment at Davis that people want to be around. So things are good at Davis. Yeah,
it's very impressive stuff there. I'm guessing your goals for 26 are to repeat Player of the Year, go to the PPC. That's got to be top of the page. A, am I right? B, what else are your goals looking forward?
Those are always on the top of the list for sure. Playing good at the PPC and trying to get back to another PGA championship is always up there as well. I mean, as we get older, it's harder and harder. So it's a lofty goal, but something I've been playing well, and this year at Bandon Dunes should be fun. So hopefully we can endure some tough weather and play well and find ourselves at another PGA championship. But if not, my other goal is to just maintain perspective and have fun. Golf's fun. It can challenge us all. It can frustrate us all. But I try to keep that in mind and just enjoy. It's been hard reflecting. I'm 42 now, and just getting older and older. The good news is in our section, it seems like the older we get, the better we play. If you look at how strong the seniors are and how strong our section is. So that is encouraging, but I also know that, my best years are probably here or gone, and I need to keep working to stay competitive and have fun playing golf.
Carl, Zach makes so many interesting points there, but let me ask you this. He's so right. Keeping a perspective of how privileged we are to play this game, even when the putts are lipping out rather than in. Why is that so hard?
Look, a person like Zach, we all look at him, and Chris Moody's another good example. They've elevated themselves to national notoriety. Hopefully you and your wife are planning on playing at Aronimink in Pennsylvania in May, so book those hotel rooms now.
Yeah.
But why is it so hard? Because we're going to talk about Tiger later. Really, if you in life, we just need to focus on, keep moving forward, keep doing the right things, and good things will happen. And that's hard to do in golf.
It's hard to do in golf,
especially if you miss a fairway. We project so much forward of what we're trying to. Zach's just such an in the moment guy. He's just so calm and level headed that he's going to continue to keep Tommy two gloves in your mind. I remember watching Tommy Two Gloves in his 40s, and he was just
Tommy
grinding,
Gainey.
Grinding it out on the Corn Ferry, and shows up to the senior tour and just lights it up.
Then he wins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zach, you're 43, but you're in perfect physical shape. Come on, man. You've got all the gifts you need. Just keep pushing. You're going to elevate and continue to excel in the game. We all believe in you, and we're proud of you as fellow Utah section members.
So well said. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Carl. That means a lot. I appreciate that.
Well, Zach,
I beg to differ. I've got to putting on some weight, and I'm getting slower, Carl. So the odds aren't looking good.
Well,
but,
okay, that if that's true, that might just mean you don't have to run in the shower to get wet. So,
Oh, my
yeah,
goodness.
I wish that was no problem. But no, Carl's so right. You got to stay in the moment, and the game is so hard. And if we beat ourselves up over every little thing, like it's, I mean, I'm 42 with 3 kids. Like missing a 5-footer, is it really that big of a deal? And that's kind of the mindset that I've tried to play golf with. And you know, when you come home and your kids said, "Did you have a tournament?" "Yeah." "Did you win?" "No." The conversation's over. Like
they
you know,
move on.
Yeah, they move on. My oldest, he said, "Oh, you had a tournament today?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Was Tiger there?" "No." "Was Scotty there?" "No." "Okay, cool." You know, I mean, and that's really how I try to approach it. If we try and it means so much to us. It's you know a detriment. We want it too bad, and we put too much pressure on ourselves. So I'm just trying to have fun.
Well, what a great attitude, and you're a great man, great player. We are so happy that you're a part of the Utah game, and no surprise, you're Player of the Year, and we're looking forward to seeing what comes next year for you, Zach. So go out there and knock them dead.
Well, very nice of you, and thanks for having me on the show. And I'm lucky to be a part of the Utah golf world, and thank you guys for covering it and making it a big deal, which is fun. So it's nice to, like I said, I'm just lucky to be a part of it. So thank you.
Thank you. It's our privilege and pleasure. All right, folks,
Thanks, Zach.
that is Zach Johnson, Utah Section PJ Player of the Year. Carl, Zach, look, we know he can golf the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Numbers are there, but I think the bigger point here, what a good guy.
Yes.
My gosh. I like Zach as a friend. I admire him as a player. Love watching him play. Love watching him swing the club. But it all pales to my fondness for him, my admiration for him as a person. I think he's a great guy.
Yeah, you can parallel Zach and Scotty Scheffler, right? They're just
That's
solid,
yeah.
great people.
Yeah, and the thing is, Zach is not unusual in the section.
Mm-mm.
There are so many really good people across the whole arc.
There's a
of the
common
Utah section.
thread
Yeah.
of Utah golfers
Yeah.
in the section in the UGA and whatnot.
Yeah.
But it is, and I you say that every time. I mean, they're not just a great golfer; they're a better person.
They're better people.
Yeah,
Love
we've
it.
got some amazing people in our community, and we're so lucky.
Zach Johnson, 2025 Utah Section Player of the Year. All right. We got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to do a little things and stuff with Mike Alleman of Uinta. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Things and stuff on Utah Golf Radio, brought to us by Uinta in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. This first hour of the show is presented by Salt Lake City Golf at slcgolf.com, and we are powered by T-Box, tbx.golf, where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, coaching, and community. We are joined now by Mike Alleman of Uinta Golf. Mike, kicking off the new year with a new TaylorMade driver. Tell us all about it.
Yeah. Good morning, guys. Happy New Year, first off.
Happy New Year to you.
New Year.
New TaylorMade driver amongst a whole list of new product lines coming out later this month and into next month. But we'll talk about the TaylorMade. It's the QI4D, like 4-dimension.
Oh,
those four dimensions are face, shaft, head, and fitting.
Interesting.
Just like the last few years, they've got 4 different types of heads. First one is the LS head, and you're going to be your smallest profile for the better player, faster swing speed, least forgiving club head out of the lineup for the player looking for that lower spin off the tee. You have your core model, which is going to fit a vast majority of the golfers out there. I'll talk more about that in a second. But the Max is going to be basically the most forgiving. It's going to be the highest inertia driver. It's going to be the biggest profile. So looking down on it, it's going to look a lot bigger than, especially the LS, a little bit bigger than the core. The core is going to fall right in the middle of that. And then they have the Max Light, which is a lighter weight head, usually paired with a extremely lightweight shaft. And that's going to be for your slower swing speed players that are looking for maximum distance.
Interesting. The first thing that strikes me looking at these is they look clean. There are previous TaylorMade models. I'm thinking back, was it the R11 that looked like the dashboard of a car with all the knobs and the adjustments on it. And this club really looks clean. I love the look of it.
I agree. Very, very clean looking. Like the color scheme to it. If you haven't seen it, come down to Uinta and get one in your hands. And we have them in store right now to hit and place those pre-orders in.
Let's talk about the fitting aspect of this, especially the shaft. Jordan Spieth famously says the shaft fitting matters 10x more than any other part of it. I think it's impressive and noteworthy that TaylorMade is going that direction. Talk to us about the shaft fitting on this.
Yeah, so they've partnered with Mitsubishi and have kind of recreated the old Reax shaft fitting system. In this line, they're really highlighting the shaft rotation as part of the fitting process. So you have a red, blue, and white color code on the Reax shaft, and the red is going to be for the early release players, so quick with their hands. So that's going to be a high rotation shaft. Again, for those players that release the club head a little early. The white is going to be on the opposite end of that. That's going to be for the late release player that needs a little stiffer tip section of the shaft. So that's a low rotation shaft. And the blue is right in the middle of those two for the mid release kind of player, and it's just a mid stiffness in the tip of the shaft.
That is so interesting. Carl, I'm curious what you think when you hear him describe that. We were talking a little bit about shafts during the break.
I mean, yeah, for the what he's saying with the play with a lot of release, or
their release point, adjusting to the release point. Yeah,
it's again another axis or a lever to pull in terms of gaining speed, right? And that's if you jump on TaylorMade's website at the bottom there, you've got a little link to YouTube. You've got the YouTube legend Grant Horvat with Tommy Fleetwood.
Right.
That kind of the fitting that Grant went through on YouTube was probably 15 minutes. It was a long fitting, and that's a player that probably already has his original shaft from the previous product already dialed in. So they took a lot of time on that shaft to really, I mean, you've got the head, you've got the weighting, you've got the loft, and then the shaft as well. So that's some characteristics that you need to dial in and take time to get fit. So you can really optimize that club head for, again, your release, how your club head speed. Saying there's 4 different models. So yeah, there's some time to be taken to optimize that golf club.
So interesting. Mike, last year, TaylorMade released its Zero Torque Spider, and there was a bit of a gold rush on that. They ended up being hard to get. What does inventory and availability look like for this driver?
Oh, we should have no shortage of the drivers and fairway woods. I don't know what happened with that putter last year, but
it was crazy.
We're finally caught up on that. We actually have quite a bit of inventory in the putter, but yeah, inventory should not be a problem on any of the new product lines coming out.
You mentioned the fairways. Talk to us quick about those.
It's going to be pretty similar to last year. The drivers is what they really make the big deal about. Mm-hmm. One thing I forgot to mention on the core driver head is they're kind of bringing back that old R7 quad weight system back. So there's 4 weight portals in that driver head. Comes stock with the 2 heavier weights in the back, 2 lighter weights in the front portals, and they're interchangeable, so we can dial in both trajectory and direction. So if you need to adjust for a fade or a draw or a higher or lower ball flight, that driver is very tunable to get that dialed in.
Good stuff. All right, folks, check out this new TaylorMade QI4D driver. And the fitting, get the fitting, make sure your shaft is right. Uinta Golf with 5 locations around the state, up at Riverdale, Sugar House, Sandy, Orem, and St. George. Mike, thank you so much for joining us today.
You guys.
All right, thanks. That's Mike Alleman at Uinta Golf. TaylorMade comes out with new drivers pretty frequently. But this one looks like, I think, a little bit different, worth looking at. I mean, I'm interested in your thoughts on that, Carl.
Yeah, and so a lot of the play has been you've got the head, and then you're usually going to buy an aftermarket shaft.
Yeah,
right? So that's going to increase the price of that club. What TaylorMade's trying to do is keep you inside their stock shaft offering. So you're going to get a club that's fitted to you by TaylorMade, and it's going to be at that regular price point rather than probably a $200 or $300 upcharge, which is
that matters.
Massive.
Yeah, that matters. That matters. Yeah, I was focusing on they've just integrated the two. They've normally been separate paths. Now they're on the same page, which I think matters. But your point about the price point, that matters as well. I appreciate it. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we will talk with the great Guy Yoakum, Utah Golf Hall of Famer.
I love Guy.
Hard not to.
He's so great.
We're going to talk about Tiger's first 50 years with Guy Yoakum. When we come back, you are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. That means Utah Golf Radio coming to you live today from the beautiful downtown studios of ESPN 700, getting you inside the ropes on all things golf in Utah in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. Paul and Jan in studio with you today, together with our good friend Carl Serres, the head golf professional director of golf at Willow Creek Country Club, kicking off the new year. And we are powered, as always, by T-Box at tbx.golf, where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, coaching, and community. Check them out at tbx.golf. We are joined now by one of the great people in the Utah game, certainly, but in the game internationally, following a stellar career at Golf Digest, product of our hometown here, and now a member of the Utah Golf Hall of Fame. I'm talking Guy Yoakum. Guy, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thanks for the nice flowery introduction, and it's good to hear your voice again.
Yeah, your mom called me last night. She said, "Can you?"
Well, that's good. See, you're so great. You've got a conduit right to heaven.
Exactly.
Wow.
Guy, it's so good to hear your voice. So good to be talking with you again. The thing we need to talk about this time, we just concluded an important holiday season, and you know there are a lot of important holidays in December. There's Christmas, of course, and New Year's. I'm kind of fond of Festivus, but the biggest holiday this past couple weeks, I want to go back and relive it with you, and that is December 30th, Tiger Woods' 50th birthday. It was Tiger Woods' Day. He turned 50, and I want to talk with you, Guy, about Tiger's first 50 years, and because you were there with him. You covered this for Golf Digest and co-wrote a book with him. When you look at Tiger Woods turning 50, what is top of mind for you?
You know, right when you mentioned his birthday on December 30th, right? The first thing that came to mind was when I was sitting with Earl Woods once down in Florida at Isleworth in a condo that the Tiger owned, but had his dad staying in, and Earl was telling me all about Tiger, his whole life, what it was like being his dad, what Tiger was like as a little kid, and all that stuff. And so you mentioned December 30th. What comes to mind is Earl sitting there and kind of shaking his head ruefully and talking about the days when Tiger was little, and it would come time for Christmas, and then his birthday. And he said it was always what he and Tita tried to do were sort of, geez, they're only 5 days apart, these holidays. So what he would do, they would try to like combine it all into one big Festivus, you might say, and where they would just give him he just had a great Christmas. You know, he had a ton. He was an only child. So he would have an enormous number of presents, both birthday and Christmas, all at once. And he said that no matter how much stuff they got him, you know, you got a bicycle over there, or new golf clubs over there. He just said school clothes, all kinds of stuff. He said, Tiger, 2 days after Christmas, he would come up to him and say, Daddy, what am I getting for my birthday? December 30th. So Earl said they never won that battle. The Tiger had a way. It was his little sad face, a little kind of an act that he would put on, and his begging and pleading, and mainly, you know, just his maneuvering in this negotiation to have a big birthday as well. And he said Tiger always won that battle. So, I don't know, that just came to mind. There's not a lot of golf in that story, is it?
But no, getting to know more about Tiger the man is always interesting to me. He is a combination of remarkably, unbelievably focused and yet complicated all at once.
Yeah, he is that for sure. one thing. Okay, so he's 50 now. He'll have an open road playing the Champions Tour.
Yeah.
He wants.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking. You think why he's a complicated guy, right? Well, you think why would Tiger play the Champions Tour at all?
Mm-hmm.
Certainly doesn't have to. So why would he do it? Well, I think there's like tiers of involvement or incentives for players to want to play the Champions Tour at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we know Tiger doesn't need the money. Well, why else would you do it? Well, there's one tier of guys that playing golf is just what they do. It's just part. It's in their DNA, just part of their makeup.
Yeah.
Tom Kite is like that. Great Champions Tour player Dana Quigley was like that.
Yes.
I mean, they get out of bed and they stretch, they yawn one time, and then they say, "Where are my golf clubs?" All right. There's that type. They just itch. They're just golf junkies who that's all they want to do.
I feel these guys, Guy.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another strata, tier, where some guys are just trophy collectors. I mean, they're good at it. They're good at what they do, but they just kind of like to win. It's like Native Americans hanging scalps on their lodge. They just want to see how many they can get out there, right? So Bernard Longer was sort of like that. He played 375 tournaments. That neighborhood, he won 47 times. He passed Harold Urban. He just liked to win trophies. I was in his house once, interviewing him once, and I asked him, I said, what do you do with all the trophies that you've won? I mean, 47 trophies, that's a lot of trophies.
Yeah.
He had a couple fewer than that when I saw him. But between there and the European Tour, the PGA Tour, can you imagine? I go, you've got a lot of trophies. And he said, yeah. He said he had more trophies than he could count. He ran out of places to put them. I mean, that's 100 trophies, that guy's. Nice trophies, by the way. and he said that they just ran out of space. He says, you don't want to throw them away. He's not going to open a museum anytime soon. So he says he just takes them, brings them home. They come home with him on the plane, and he puts them in his hallway, his upstairs hallway. And he says these trophies just go up and down this hallway. Most of the trophies, he looks at them. He'll get up to use the bathroom, and he'll walk past 30 trophies. And he says most of them he doesn't recognize. Like, he doesn't remember what they were for. He won so much. He goes, they're just these ornaments that kind of sit out in his hallway.
Oh,
then there's other guys who go out there. They just do it for, I think, social reasons. They just like friendships. They just like Old Home Week. And these guys that they've known, their colleagues that they've spent their lifetimes with, they just like the social part of it. I remember seeing that. Guys like Orville Moody would just be sitting in the players' locker room reading the newspaper. Somebody would say, what time's your tea time? He goes, well, I don't go for another 5 hours. They go, what are you here for? He goes, well, to be with you. So there's that. There's a few that do it for financial reasons, I think. They were never real world beaters on the PGA Tour. But heck, on the Champions Tour, there's no cut. The purses are pretty good. They're guaranteed to get paid every time they show up. So it's hard to turn that down. It's free money. So there's that. Then I think there's the category where this is where Tiger would come in. I think there are people that just like to stomp on other people. I mean, they like to win. They take a savage pleasure just in beating the other guy. Yeah. And Tiger was the best in history at doing that. He just took pleasure on beating the other guy. He wasn't a hangout guy. He wasn't a friendships guy. He didn't need the money, right?
Right.
I think he just collected trophies. I don't think he really cared that much about that. I think he just liked to beat people. That is what gave him the most satisfaction.
You
So
know,
the question is,
yeah.
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think you're right about all that. I look at the question of whether Tiger will play on the Champions Tour, and I think ultimately the answer is yes. For a version of what you're saying there, and maybe exactly what you're saying there, I think his friends will goad him, and he's going to say, wait, I'm Tiger, you're not. I'm going to go out and I'm going to spank you.
Exactly. That would be it. Now, so there's, because you think about it, Tiger was just not a hangout kind of guy.
No.
Outside of Nota Begay, one or two other players, Mark O'Meara, for heaven's sake, did he really have a lot of friends on the PGA Tour?
No.
You ever see him hanging out with people? No, never. Like nobody really knows him, So the question is he going to be able to do it? Is it going to be worth the trouble? We haven't seen him for, a year and a half. He hasn't played.
Yeah.
Just had another surgery. You look at his list of surgeries. It's just an unbelievable thing. And there's kind of a perception of Tiger. We look at him with hope and expectation, almost like he's not flesh and blood. That he's just some kind of Terminator, that he's an android. That because he's Tiger, he can just sit and wish for himself to get better and be healthy. But at the end of the day, he is flesh and blood, right?
Yeah.
And so, this last surgery, that's a career ender. One surgery, a lumbar disc replacement, give me a break. A lot of people just never come back from that one thing. So will he physically be able to? Now, he can ride a car, he can be in a buggy on the Champions Tour. But I think we're getting to a point where just an ability to swing a golf club is going to be a big ask, because you combine all of these things. And he's had arthritis over the years, too. He's had a bunch of things. Then you consider the sheer impact of just sheer age on all of these things. He's getting old, man.
He's 50.
50 isn't ancient, but it's old. And these things, over years, they don't get along. They get better in a way, but then you get worse again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one day you wake up, you're rubbing your shoulder, and you think, oh, yeah, I did that skiing, when I was 19. The doctor said this would happen. So, I don't know. Tiger, he hasn't made any announcement. Said he would still like to play golf, but he can't even do the TGL thing. He's not out there.
That's a good point.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't that his big
All right,
idea?
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you look back over Tiger's career, there are so many iconic moments. What are your favorite?
Boy, that's a big list, right?
It is.
I suppose the most mythical thing that he did, I think the thing that really cemented him into public consciousness more than any other, I think, was his win at Torrey Pines. When he had the broken
On the
leg.
broken leg, yeah.
Yeah, I think that one blew out all the candles on the cake. I mean, that really lifted him into his zone. No one else is quite occupied. That made him a little more than human. And I think his first victory, his win at the '97 Masters, his first major championship victory, that was a huge sea change moment. For a lot of reasons. I think it was like Obama, becoming our president. There was a racial implication with that.
There was.
There was youth. There was the American dream. It was an ordinary kid coming up out of that. And then we saw that we're capable of seeing just unreal talent and skill and mastery of something that's really hard to do. So,
yeah, plus
you pick those two, and that's pretty good.
Yeah, very good indeed. And, the 97 Masters, there were so many elements to that, including it's hard to remember, but do you recall there was some conversation after his dominant amateur career 3 U.S. juniors in a row, 3 U.S. AMs in a row. There was talk about would he remain amateur and be Bobby Jones and be this dominant amateur, and would his game translate to the pro game? And he goes out and he wins in Vegas right away, I think his third start. And then the 97 Masters, dominant, this 12-shot victory, and just absolutely said, yes, I will win in the pro game, and I'm going to just destroy people in the pro game, and there's nothing you can do to stop this.
That's right. Just talking with you, the other one, though, I think my favorite one, the most awe-inspiring one was the 2000 Open.
Oh, unbelievable.
Open.
Best golf ever played. Absolutely.
Best golf ever played.
Yeah.
It was a surreal thing to watch. It was, he just turned Pebble Beach, and the rest of it feels like he's playing a video game. Didn't miss a putt inside 15 feet on tough Poa greens.
Uh-huh.
Just amazing. That was the one. I mean, that was the zenith of Tiger. I think that all the iterations of his golf swing that over the years, which would change, be rebuilt, modified, and all that. That was the perfect Tiger, I think, at the 2000 U.S. Open, and watching that was something else.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Carl and I were talking about his swing iterations during the break. An amazing thing that you've got a guy who best in the world, number one in the world at what he's doing, and rather than keeping it going, saying, I'm going to dance with what brung me, he says, I'm going to go change it and get better. Amazing. But it raises this question in my mind. You co-wrote his instruction book, or Ghost wrote it with him. Which swing was that?
I think it was the one in 2000.
Okay.
I really do. I mean, we're trying to, when you get into that, you're really trying to separate fine lines of perfect, right?
Fine lines of perfect.
Apart.
Wow.
You
Okay.
bet, because any one of those swings, he's a great player with any one of those. But I think the one that he just clubbed everybody to death with was 2000.
Yeah.
And frankly, I wonder why he ever changed. Why he changed so he could step on more nets. That's why I did it, to spank you, as you'd say.
So interesting, so incredible.
If I could say something,
please,
Guy, he created a mystique similar to that of Ben Hogan. Like, there was a mystique of Ben Hogan that you couldn't get inside that inner circle or inside that head. Tiger could beat you with his D game. He was winning, by 10 or 15 at his best, but he was still winning tournaments with his D game because he was so mentally superior, so driven, and he could just literally will putts into the hole.
That's what he did on the 72nd at Torrey. And Rocco Mediate said, I knew he was going to make it, and I knew he would will it in. And
that putt never should have gone.
No, there's no way that putt goes in, but it did.
No.
Yeah.
But it did. So you're right, Carl. It was an amazing weapon. It was his 15th club, I think. And Tiger knew he had that. He had the 15th. He had 16th and 17th clubs. For heck's sake, he his persona alone, it just throws guys. You get in a playoff with that guy,
Done.
or you're there and his name's on the leaderboard. You got the lead, but Tiger is 2 shots back. It was just a mountainous thing for any other human to try to contend with.
And he
Tiger
only
knew that. That's part of the step on the neck type thing.
Absolutely.
Because Tiger knew he had that, and he would just look over at the other guy. Nicklaus did that. He would just kind of give them sort of a doubtful look, kind of measure them up and down and kind of snort. Like, Are you kidding? This is all you've got?
Yeah.
And real powerful. So, I don't know.
So many players in so many different ways, because he was really, sometimes he was as creative as Bubba Watson. He was as long as Bryson DeChambeau in his era. Yeah. And he was as pure as Ben Hogan, right?
And putted like Ben Crenshaw.
Yep.
I mean, all of it. And plus, there's numbers behind what you're saying here, Guy. Only one time did Tiger get beat after holding a 54-hole lead. Billy Mayfair's the only one who ever did it. And
Yeah.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's absurd. You know, we used to do a thing, a Golf Digest, where we would every year or couple of years. I'd love to do these kind of stories. You just go out on the PGA Tour, and you'd ask them is the best player in every department of the game.
Yeah.
And oh sure, chipping, putting, torquing, who's the best driver, iron player, wedge player, blah blah blah. And that used to be sort of an interesting thing. Lee Trevino was always a great interview with something like that. You'd say, who's the best fairway wood player of all time? He'd say, oh, George Knudsen. And I'd say, what? He would tell you this great story about the great Canadian player George Knudsen.
Yeah.
But it got to be to a point, in about 2000, right around that point, where we stopped doing that story because it was, who was it? I can't remember the guy I was with. I said, so who's the best putter out here? He said, Tiger Woods. There you go. Well, who's the best bunker player? Tiger. He said, who's the best middle iron player? Oh, Tiger Woods. Who's the best driver? Tiger. So it was like the consensus choice in every department of the game.
Oh, wow.
And so you can't do a story like that where one guy just wins every category every time. So
yeah, you're not going to get many column inches on that, are you?
Yeah, short one.
Right.
Okay.
You just put the name Tiger Woods on one page and just turn the page and get it over with. Right?
Yeah, right. Oh my. Well, Guy, I could have this conversation for another hour, and I'm sorry to say we've kind of burned through our time. But thank you so much for joining us. This is so interesting and
Come
really
back and see us, Guy.
Yeah,
we miss you.
Come back again.
I miss you.
And
I miss you too, Jan. Nice to hear your voice. And you too, Carl. Smart questions and good takes on Tiger.
Nice.
And I love you, Paul.
Thank you so much. Love you too, man. We will be in touch. More to come with Guy Yoakum. Thank you so much, Guy.
Take care. Bye-bye.
That is Utah Golf Hall of Famer Guy Yoakum. Son of Salt Lake, son of West High, son of Weber State,
for hours.
And just a great career at Golf Digest.
Yeah.
And he was there for so much of that. Amazing stuff. All right, really, really quick. Let's talk about who needs some relief. I Need Relief, brought to us by Duro Health. Check them out at durohealth.com, where you will be able to swing faster, hit farther, and play better, feel better with durohealth.com. And I'll tell you who needs relief. It is Brooks Koepka. He wrote it down and submitted an application to come back to the PGA Tour saying, relieve me of my decision to go to live.
Oh.
Brooks Koepka needs some relief. Let's talk about somebody on a Sizz. On a Sizz, brought to us by Next Level Golf at nextlevelgolf.com. I'm going back to Ivins, Utah, back to Black Desert for the Bank of Utah Championship. Bank of Utah Championship on a Sizz. They've got the dates. Did you write them down, folks? October 1st through 4th. October 1st through 4th.
I memorized it.
Okay. Bank of Utah Championship on a Sizz. All right, we got to take a break. When we come back on the other side, we're going to talk with John Scott about a really interesting, fascinating thing he is doing to help kids find a way to play in college. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Yeah. Utah Golf Radio coming back at you from the mothership. We are in the beautiful downtown studios of ESPN 700, getting you inside the ropes of all things golf in Utah, in partnership with Utah's leading golf organizations, the Utah Golf Association, the Utah Section PGA, Fairways Media, the Utah Golf Foundation, the Utah Golf Course Superintendents Association, the Utah Junior Golf Association, and First Tee Utah. Paul and Jan in studio today with Carl Serres, Director of Golf at Willow Creek Country Club. Carl, it's so good to see you and to talk a little golf here on this winter morning.
Thanks for having me.
So glad to see you. So glad you're with us today, man. And this, we are powered, as always, by T-Box at tbx.golf. Check them out, where they have cracked the code on the whole golfer experience with clubs, coaching, and community at T-Box. We are joined now by a really interesting man I'm just getting to know and can't wait to get to know him better. I'm talking John Scott at the College Coaches Connection, and we want to talk about something John is doing to help Utah kids get an opportunity to play college golf. John Scott, good morning. Welcome to the show.
Good morning, guys. How are you?
So good, John. So thank you for joining us. John, first of all, tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about College Coaches Connection before we move on to your trip to Washington.
Okay. So I grew up in Boston. My high school was 4,200 kids. I was an all-state player, played in college, played professionally, internationally, and had tryouts in the NBA. And so I ended up moving out here because I just loved the area and the mountains, and have been here for
Thank you, John.
years.
We do too.
Oh yeah, no, I love it. It's great. So I've been a college coach 3 times. I've been a pro coach, skills coach in the NBA, and I train a lot of kids. And as I was going through that, trying to help kids get opportunities to play, this was 20 years ago that we started this. I was really disenchanted with what I saw with recruiting services. So they market like crazy. They'll sign anybody up. You could be and shoot 90 in golf, and they tell you could play Division I golf, and I just didn't like what was going on. So I had some friends that had played and coached in college as well, and we started College Coaches Connection with the intent of being honest with people. We'll do an evaluation, tell you exactly where you're at and what you need to work on and what level of competition you're best suited for. And so in 2 decades since we've started this, we've never had a kid that we work with miss getting multiple opportunities to colleges. So we're just bluntly honest with people, and we mentor them. We help them get through the process, help them get prepared, how to get on coaches' recruiting boards, how to move up recruiting boards, and to get opportunities. And I think most importantly, you guys will appreciate this, we help them find the right environments. So we'll give them, when they're getting offers, we'll give them questions they have to ask 4 athletes on every team.
Boy, that
2
matters.
starters and two non-starters.
Yeah.
And believe me, about a third of our kids end up changing their choice right then when they find out what's going on.
Yeah, that matters so much. A couple things I want to clarify right away. You're a basketball guy. This is a golf show. Tell us what sports you help the kids with.
Name a sport, we do it. We had 2 bowlers from Hawaii a couple of years ago that got 86 and 90% funding.
Okay. All right. You win. I wouldn't have thought of that one.
Yeah, we've done rodeo. We've done rifle. I mean,
okay.
Predominantly we do the main sports, and golf is definitely one of those.
Yeah. And then I really appreciate what you're saying about finding the right fit and talking about the experience. The recruiting is so different from when I played. I know that. Now, granted, it's been a lot of years since I was there, but it's so different now. But I tell kids this all the time, that I don't remember even tournaments and scores and things like that. There's a couple, Carl, I do remember, but I'll tell you what's fresh and new today now, 40 years on, is my relationships with my teammates. That matters, and that's really carried forward. I found the right situation for me at Boise State, and it's been an important part of my whole life moving forward.
Yeah, and I would say, a lot of the programs now are very similar in what they're offering. I mean, they can't
That's
go
an interesting
out
point.
here and there. The facilities are so exceptional. the coach is going to be a huge connection for you,
Yeah.
players, and even on the education side, having mentors there that are going to help you through the
Yeah,
program that
yeah,
way and
yeah.
get you on with wherever you're going after your college experience. I mean, I remember when I was the college golf experience was very different in the UK, and I remember I went into that late, and I showed up to the middle of Preston, England, and it was a very fresh program, but the lecturers were amazing, the people we were there with, and it just made the experience exceptional. And yeah, and it's huge. You've got to be able to connect with people and grow with them, right? That's what it's all about.
So interesting to hear you not talk about tournament scores. Fascinating, and exactly my view of it as well. So, John, let's go to the golf side now and tell us about this innovative and so interesting recruiting trip that you're doing up to Washington State with Utah kids.
So we started doing this a few years ago with basketball kids that I trained, and it caught on in other sports. We will take all region, all state caliber, trending that way, level players up to the Northwest. Now, we go to the Northwest for a specific reason. In golf, there's 8 colleges and universities. In Utah, 7 are Division I. Most aren't going to play at that level.
Right.
And with golf, even though with the new rules, we know all the rules, now Division I can have, and this is an important phrase, up to 9 golfers on scholarship. They can have up to 9 scholarships, right? But their roster cuts at 9. Well, you go to Division II, you go to Division III, you go to NAI, they don't have limits on how many you can have on the roster. But the up to phrase, like Westminster, I know for a fact in basketball can have up to 12 scholarships, but Westminster only gives them 6. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because that's what the college do. Well, this happens in golf. I was on the phone yesterday and the day before with St. Martin's University, a Division II golf coach, Coach Barr. I was on the phone with Willamette University, Linfield University. They're really excited about us bringing these kids up. And we started doing these tours for basketball to help kids get places. And we picked the Northwest, and this is what's important about it, because they have 36 or 37 golf programs up there that are not Division I.
Are these like yeah, and this is an important point. There's a lot of small liberal arts colleges up there. You're right, not Division I, but a great experience and a great education waiting for kids up there.
NCAA Division III, NCAA Division II, NAIA, junior colleges. There are some beautiful, beautiful campuses up there, beautiful schools. And so a few of the golf coaches, 2 of them were assistant coaches when we were doing these other tours. They started saying, hey, can you do this in golf? I said, yeah, we can do it in golf. So we figured out that January is the best time because they play in the fall, they play in the spring. And like I said, I've been on the phone with half a dozen golf coaches, college coaches this week up there, and they are excited about the kids that we're bringing. They go, you're going to do this every year, right? Yes, we're doing this. We're doing this every year. And so we're excited to be taking them up there. We're going to do 5 stops in 5 days in geographic pockets. So Seattle, Tacoma or Olympia, out to Walla Walla, back to Portland, Salem area, down to Eugene, so that we can hit all of the potential colleges in Oregon and Washington. They're all within 1 to 2 hours of driving range. No pun intended on the driving, right?
Right.
But they're in range to come see these kids, and they're excited about it. And they can come to the individual colleges that we're going to. The college coaches said, no, the other college coaches can come in. We don't have a problem with that. They can look at these kids. They can talk to them. They can watch them. They can scout them firsthand. They can have conversations with them. So it's going to be up close and personal. And you guys know from tournaments, even in high school, you can go to national tournaments or regional tournaments, and trying to have 20 or 30 golf coaches there to look at you at your correct competition level is almost impossible.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So this
It's
is a
not gonna
great
happen.
opportunity, and the coaches. And we're bringing both juniors and seniors, by the way. Why are we doing that? Well, golf might only sign 1, 2, or 3 kids in a year. So we're giving them a jump start on getting onto these college coaches' recruiting boards, which is really important.
That is. The awareness matters. There's a lot of noise out there, and so being able to cut through it and make the connection with the coach, that really matters.
If I could add something too, the 2 years is a long time in golf, especially from 16
True.
to 18.
True.
Players' bodies develop differently, different times. They gain distance significantly in 6 months with the growth spurt or whatever that is, and sometimes you might be late to the game. So taking this opportunity to go to what appears like a lower level is just it's the farm system for D1. If you see what's happening in college football, this is also
Yeah.
you see the junior college route and is not is an opportunity.
Well, and look, the junior college route absolutely is an opportunity, but even with the changes in NCAA generally, the portal, we all know it's there. We talked earlier today about Zach Feltz, played 3 years in his hometown at Utah Tech, and now he's at VCU. Now, his reason was, I talked with him about this, his reason was I needed and wanted a broadening experience in my life. I had been in my hometown. I needed to get out and look at another part of the world and experience another place. And I admire and respect Zach's self-awareness for that. And it ends up talking about the experience. And my goodness, I think that's important. Tell us what kind of kids are going to be going on this. And if somebody's listening to this, John, and they're thinking, wow, I'm interested, or a parent listening, my son or daughter would be interested. Tell us how people get more information and get involved with what you're doing.
Sure. The best way is to don't call my phone right now because I'm on it, but you can call or text once I get off the radio at 801-550-9131. So 801-550-9131, or you can go to collegecoachesplural.connection.com. Fill out a athlete profile. No one's going to call and bother you, but you can go in there and contact and say, hey, I'd like to learn more about the tour. It's collegecoachesconnection.com. And I wanted to mention a couple of things to you guys. And this is very important. Sometimes kids can transfer in the NCAA with the transfer portal from D3 to D2 to D1. But the other thing, and I learned this from my experience because I didn't go D1 out of high school, but you can still get to the tour if that's your ultimate goal. I mean, you got to do a lot more practice than most people to do that, right? But if that's the goal, you can get there being a D3 player because golf is empirical data. They're going to go off scores. They're going to go off what courses you played and how you did, what competitions. It doesn't matter if you play at D3, D2, or D1. And with the transfer portal, that is only applicable to the NCAA. There's 8 governing bodies that have sports, like the NAI and the 3 governing bodies for junior colleges. They're not involved in the transfer portal at all. So that's a non-issue. You can still transfer.
Okay.
So starting out where you can play, go where you can play, not where you want to go. I mean, I remember in college I tried to literally date Miss America, asked her out 3 times, didn't get anywhere. I ended up marrying someone, to me, that was prettier and better for me, right?
Good job. I'm happy for you, man.
So, and what parents will do is they'll go, my kid's as good as that kid in a given tournament or event, but it's about your level of consistency. And so that's why they do 18-hole averages and handicaps and all those things. And then, of course, what courses do you play? We're playing in the mountains, so most college coaches are going to take off 1 or 2 strokes off your averages.
Because of elevation, right?
Right.
Yep.
And these are just things that people don't know. But the point is, being equal to is not being better than. It's getting there first.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, this is one of the ways it's different from when I went through the recruiting process 100 years ago. That is really an interesting point, John.
Well, it's really very simple. I got a recruiting board. Every college coach has one. In fact, I talked with the coach at South Puget Sound College last week, and he said, Coach, I'm going to come watch. I love what you're doing. I'm glad you're going to do this every year. We want to be involved. But I got 15 kids on my recruiting board. I'm not looking for anybody else right now. I said, now, wait a second, Coach. This is really simple. You're telling me if I bring up a kid that's pounding D1 scores but doesn't want to go Division I, he wants to be in a smaller classroom environment, not have it be his life, but still be able to play in college, that you're not going to take that kid? He goes, no, of course I take him. I said, that's all I wanted to know. So it's really very simple. And another thing that most people do not know about college recruiting, they assume if you're good enough, the college coaches will come and find you.
Nope.
Well, look, below Division I football, like we saw on TV last night with Indiana, and Division I basketball, the average recruiting budget for college coaches to find athletes nationwide is $1,000 to $2,000 a year. No one's getting on a plane to come watch you play.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, that is one thing that carries forward from a long time ago. Each recruiting conversation I had, I initiated. I placed a call.
Right. And we tell our athletes all the time that we mentor, adults call, teenagers type. So
Yeah.
pick up the phone and call. But if you want to get in front of the right competition levels, get in front of these coaches. Most of these college coaches in the Northwest, in talking to them, are both the men's and the women's coaches. And we are doing both men's and women's trip, just so everybody's hearing that. But most of them are local golf pros as well.
Yeah.
And I you guys probably have not heard of Olympic College. It's in Bremerton, where the old World War II ships are warehoused in the naval base. But the coach said, hey, Coach Scott, they'll love our place because they can play a different golf course in range every day of the week.
Yeah.
And have access to it. So these are things that are great opportunities. There's so many advantages to having played college sports, even when you go get a job. And people in this country love sports. People in professions love to play golf. So if you got that on your resume, I'm not going to take you if you're not qualified, but if you're an equal qualifier, you're equal to, and you've played college sports, guess what? You got the huge advantage in your situation.
Yep. I've experienced that. Yep.
I see that in my theater all the time.
I'll bet you do. Yeah.
Yeah, equal to is not better than. It's getting there first. You got to get on these coaches' recruiting boards as soon as you can. And, I have people that they try and they don't get responses. And I said, well, okay, look, you're a Division III level player, but you're contacting Division I schools. What do you expect?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like when I tried to date Miss America. I wasn't in that category.
And the D1 pool is not just national; it's international.
It's international.
Mm-hmm.
Totally. Look
It is now.
at what Garrett Clegg has done at the
Yep.
University of Utah.
Well, several of our golf
Yeah.
coaches
Yeah.
have done that.
Yeah. Richard
Yeah,
Church does
Richard.
it at
Yep.
SUU.
Yep.
Chris Curran does it.
Definitely see it.
Chris Curran kind of lives in Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, John, I'm fascinated with what you're doing. Absolutely fascinated. This is so interesting. Parents out there, players out there, I hope you're listening to what John has to say. There are great experiences waiting for you. There are educations waiting for you, but you got to be intentional and smart about how you do it. And I think John Scott can help you be both of those. And I'm impressed so much with what you're doing, John.
No, I appreciate that. And let me just put a shout out one more time. We're taking guys and girls. We're going this month. We got a short time window, but we got 3 or 4 spots left for those that want to learn about it. Call or text at 801-550-9131. 801-550-9131, or go to collegecoachesconnection.com and fill out the contact form or fill out a profile, and we'll be happy to get with you.
Fantastic.
So we're still looking for a few kids, but it's going to be a great trip.
Fantastic. 801-550-9131. Talk to John Scott and fill out his roster. I want to see that thing full of Utah kids. So fantastic. All right.
Well, it's great to talk with you guys.
Thank
Don't
you.
get to talk to celebrities every day.
Oh
so.
my goodness. I ain't the Miss America here, John.
No, he is not. Definitely not Miss America.
Okay.
Well, Jan, you have the best voice in the group, and my wife tells me all the time, "You're not very pretty, but you're smart." And I said, "Well, that makes me pretty smart."
Yeah, pretty smart.
There you go. I
are.
like that. I'm going to start using that.
All
one.
right. Thank you, John. So appreciate you jumping on the show with us this morning. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
You too.
All right. That's John Scott with College Coaches Connection. I'm so intrigued with what he's doing.
Yeah.
I'm so impressed with what he's doing. Carl, Jan, this
Kind of different, very
really-
different, and
Yeah.
and the opportunity is
and just knowing where there's some help too. I
Yeah.
think that matters. Okay. All right. We got to go to
really
a
need
break.
to go to
Jan,
break.
what's next?
Paul, you know what's next.
I do. It's the What's Next segment brought to us by our good friends at the Utah Golf Association. Stick around on the other side. We're going to tell you what's coming up next in Utah Golf. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network. Yeah. Utah Golf Radio putting a bow on the show, telling you what's next in Utah Golf. Right now, the players' balls are in the air. Players are playing down at the St. George Am, where Brock Porter has the lead after an opening round 63. Randy Hicken and Stuart Wallen lead the senior flight at minus 172. We will have a full podcast report on that later this weekend. The Southern Swing continues next weekend with the Hurricane City Am. USGA Award, UJGA Awards dinner is tonight, and the Copper Rock Epson qualifier is next week. We will be there for that. Jan, 15 seconds worth of Girls Go Golfing.
Oh, it's our 5th annual trip to Page. It comes in April. You can find out more information on the Facebook page, Girls Go Golfing. Click the events tab, and it's right there. Save the date.
Fantastic. All right, Carl, thank you so much for being with us today. You've really added to us getting this year started off right.
Sure did.
Really appreciate what you're doing here, Carl.
Thank you. Yeah, it's a privilege to be here and enjoy this 2026 season. Make more time to play golf and be with your family on the golf course.
This is Paul Pugmire saying thank you for listening, and don't jab it like Jan.
Jan Brownstein says, chug it, don't pug it.
Always good advice. You are listening to Utah Golf Radio, powered by T-Box on the Rocky Mountain Golf Network.